Betsy Lindemann Wong provides ideas to help with planning life skills lessons.
Tonight, we are going to talk about something different, okay? What do you see in the pictures? What do you see in the picture? What do you think this is? Right, it's a telephone. Yeah. So tonight, we're going to talk about using the telephone, okay? And while I check your homework, I'd like you to copy the sentences on the board, okay? Don't worry about yes, no.
It's a small group. There are about 10 people in the class, and on any given night, I might have anywhere from 5 to 10 people.
Just a minute, please.
Good, again.
Life skills-oriented lessons develop language skills in the context of what learners need to know and be able to do in their daily lives. Life skills lesson plans generally move from review warm-up to presentation, practice, application, evaluation, and finally, extension.
So I'm checking homework. Excellent, Monica.
The class that I just taught was a life skill-based lesson, and it was for the low beginner level, although it's sort of a mixed class. We have some students with literacy challenges who are present in the class as well. So it is a very slow-paced class. Our program is non-intensive. The learners meet 2 evenings a week for 2 hours at a time, and the semester is generally 12 weeks long.
Very good writing, Tazeen.
In the review warm-up, Betsy uses a routine activity, copying from the board, that gives learners time to become acquainted with the new topic and vocabulary while she checks homework from the previous class.
What is your address? Yeah. Lesbian. I want you to ask Floriselda for her address. What's your address?
Betsy prompts those who finish the task to practice material from the previous lesson.
Alvin, where are you from?
Where are you from?
I
am
from Guatemala.
I want you to just listen again. Okay, no talking. Just listen and look at the words, okay? I use the phone to call my friends, my family, my supervisor at work. Now, I want you to repeat one time just for pronunciation. Then we will talk about the vocabulary, okay? Everybody, I use the phone to call my friends, my family.
Betsy also uses the warm-up review to review learners' needs around the lesson topic and help them connect it to their daily lives.
Do you talk to your friends on the phone? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. How many people say no? I don't call my friends on the phone. Anybody no? Yes or no, Zahida?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so no. Everybody yes.
Yes.
Okay. How many of you use the phone to talk to your family? Imagine that you call your friend on the phone, okay? But somebody else answers the phone. Like maybe Monica calls Floriselda. Hello, Floriselda? But Floriselda's daughter answers the phone. Hello? What does Monica say? Think about what you say when you call people in English. Now, have you thought about what's something that Monica can say if she's calling for Floriselda, but no Floriselda? Yeah, let's write something together. Hello.
In the presentation, Betsy gives learners models of the target language and functions for the lesson. She provides time for learners to both absorb and make sense of the vocabulary, grammar, and overall usage.
May I speak to Floriselda? Do you want to take a minute and copy? Let's take a look. Yeah. Let's see. Hello, this is Monica. May I speak to Floriselda? Just a minute, please. Okay. Let's try this, everybody. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
This is Monica.
Monica.
May I speak
May I speak to
Floriselda?
Floriselda?
Just a minute,
A minute,
please. Now, I want to hear side A. Okay? Ladies, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, this is Monica. May I speak to Floriselda?
Okay.
Just a minute, please.
Please.
Good. Again.
Just a minute, please.
Please. Excellent. Now let's change. Side A. Hello.
This
This is Monica.
Monica.
May
May I speak to Floriselda?
As they work with the language, Betsy monitors for difficulties and troubleshoots as needed.
How do I say this word?
My. No, may.
Good. I say may.
May.
May I?
May I?
May I speak?
May I speak?
May I speak?
May I speak?
What does this say? Maria. Okay. And let's change the name. Let's see. Let's say this is Albin. Albin wants to speak to Maria. Now let's change. Oh. Okay. What does this one say? Your mother. Right. Is mother a man or a woman? Do you remember? Woman. Okay. What does that say? Your father. Hello.
This is Pat. May I speak to your father? Just a minute, please.
Excellent. Now, what do you say if you call somebody and the person is not home? Let's practice this together.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, we're going to practice this together. I want you to first close your eyes, relax, and listen. Okay? Hello. May I speak to Sam? I'm sorry. He's not here right now. May I take a message? Yes. Please ask him to call Betsy. Now open your eyes. Okay. Now, let's look at this sheet. I want you to listen one time and look at the words, okay? Hello. May I speak to Sam? I'm sorry. He's not here right now. May I take a message? Yes. Please ask him to call Betsy. Goodbye. Now, let me write some information on the board for us.
In guided practice, the learners engage in a series of structured activities that support them in gaining confidence and competence, both in understanding and producing the language.
Let's practice this together. Okay, let's listen and repeat. Everybody, hello.
Hello.
May I speak
May I speak
to Sam?
to Sam?
May I speak 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 to Sam?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
He's not here right now.
He not no.
Yeah, let's do that more slowly. He's not here right now.
No.
May I take
May I take
a
a
message?
message?
May I take a message?
May I take a message?
Yes.
Yes.
Please ask him
Please ask him
to call
to call
Betsy.
Betsy.
Good.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Now, let's practice this conversation again. This time, we have side A, side B. Okay, side A. Betsy balances repetition of material and tasks with controlled variety to give learners the security of familiar elements as well as manageable challenges. Side A and side B. Now, I want you to practice the conversation with a partner. So you say your name and your phone number when you practice with your partner. Let's go. Partners.
703
Ask him to
my speak.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay.
yes, please take a
Thank you.
ask
As learners take on paired tasks, Betsy can circulate and provide individual guidance and encouragement.
not here. No take.
Yeah, she's not here right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
When I do these dialogues, I think it's necessary to scaffold them. I think a lot of beginner teachers might just have the learners read the dialogue in a book, and at the beginner level, particularly, that's just not enough. I like to do this in stages. First, I model the dialogue for the learners, and I like to have them close their eyes and just listen. Just listen, see what they understand. That's how real life is. You don't hear something and have it written right in front of you most times. So they listen, they get a feel for the context and the purpose of the communication. Then they go from that to listening and seeing the written word. So we're activating some of the literacy skills, some of the prior knowledge of those high-frequency words. Then they listen, they look, and they repeat. And they repeat in a choral fashion. The teacher says, all the learners respond. Then I like to do side A and side B. The learners practice one part. Hello, may I speak to Pat? The learners on the other side give the response. I'm sorry, she's not here right now. May I take a message? And I have them practice that together. Then I go from there to having them practice in pairs. And I think that really it's so comforting to have this repetition and really to go from very highly structured, just listening, to, at the very end, practicing with a partner. And sometimes when the learners get really good, I say, okay, close the book. Let's see if you can do this on your own.
Do I have 2 volunteers to present a conversation?
My speak to Betsy.
I'm sorry, she's not here right now. May I take a message?
Yes, please ask him to call my group.
Okay. What's your name, please? Now, in that conversation, you are calling a woman, Betsy. So let's practice the second conversation, okay? If we're calling a man, we say, he's not here. If we're calling a woman, we say, she's not here. Everybody, she's not here.
She's not here.
Now, we are going to practice listening and taking a telephone message. You are going to listen and you are going to write the information. Okay? Does everybody have a pencil?
Yes.
Okay. Now where it says partner 1, okay, this is a conversation I'm going to call Tazim. Now, is everybody ready? So you're going to listen, you're going to write the name and the phone number. Okay, is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hello. May I speak to Tazim? I'm sorry, she's not here right now. May I take a message? Yes. Please ask her to call Christine. What's the phone number, please? Now, the first message I took was to call Christine. How do I spell Christine?
After dictating information for the phone messages, Betsy and the students review their answers together.
Christine.
Good. Okay. And what's the telephone number of Christine?
571-422-6604.
Excellent. 669. Good. Now let's stand up for a minute and stretch, everybody. You know, I like to do exercise in our class. Stand up for a minute.
I had planned for the learners to practice dialogues in which they left a phone message for someone. And then I was hoping for them to go from that task to the more complex task of leaving a phone message and also for the other person taking down the information in that phone message. But I think the task was a little too complex. They had these substitution dialogues where they were having to remember to say their name and their phone number, and the other person had to ask them for their name, their phone number, and write down the information and ask clarification questions, and it was too much at once. I really needed to scaffold that a little more so it was done a little more progressively in stages. So what I did, what any flexible teacher would do, is I switched gears. I thought, this is too complex. How can I simplify this for my learners, yet still have them practice the task I want them to practice? So I made it into a listening activity in which I provided the input.
Lesbia works, correct? Yeah. Now imagine Lesbia has to go to work, but she wakes up and, I'm sick. Poor Lesbia is very sick. Lesbia is so sick, she cannot go to work. Oh no. So Lesbia needs to call her supervisor. Okay? What is Lesbia going to say to her supervisor? Let's make a conversation together.
Betsy provides some supports for learners in communicative practice. However, her activity structure pushes learners to be more self-directed and make choices in creating an effective communication.
Good. I want everybody to stand up because we did a lot of sitting in this class. Now, let's have different partners, okay? This time, I want to have Floricelda. I would like you to work with Zahida over there. Tazim, could you work with Monica, okay? And Lesbia and Albin, okay? Over here. So you're going to call your boss, and maybe, do you want to say, I have a sick stomach, or I'm sick?
I have sick my stomach. I not coming to work today. No coming. See you tomorrow.
Something else that's a big idea that guides me is this concept in a life skill-based lesson of skill integration. So many of the things we do every day, just like these telephone messages we practice, involve more than one skill. You have to listen to a telephone message, you have to speak and ask questions, you have to be able to write the person's name and phone number, and if you're the recipient of the message, you have to be able to read the message. So in any good life skill-based lesson, I think you want to achieve that integration of skills. You want all four skills represented because that's how it is every day.
I want you to try with your partner And just make a conversation to your supervisor with no looking at the board. Just see what you remember. Call your supervisor and say, I'm sick. I'm not coming to work today.
Hello, my wife didn't work today.
Difficult stomach pain.
Okay, no problem. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Good, you're a nice boss. No problem. See you tomorrow. Yeah, that's good. Good. Does anybody else want to try and practice with me?
Finally, in application, learners encounter a task structure that is more open-ended, a role play. They must bring together what they have done so far to complete it.
This coming today at school.
I am fever.
Oh no, you have a fever?
No come to class.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But it's no problem, Tazim. I will see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye. How can I help you?
I mean, no coming for school for me is sick.
Oh no, you're sick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, stay home, get some rest. I will see you next week. No problem, Floricelda.
Okay.
Okay? You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
One of the most important big ideas that I keep in mind as I plan and sequence a lesson is going from highly structured to open-ended. I like to start with something that's very highly structured, basically something that's teacher-centered. I'm modeling something for the learners. I'm modeling the task that I want them to do, and I'm using the vocabulary that I want them to use and the language structure. And then I'm going from there through this sequence. We're doing guided practice, maybe substitution drills, where they're basically listening and repeating but filling in a little bit of information. Then they're going from there to more communicative practice, maybe applying it to a context in their everyday life, to a more open-ended application. And this might be where the role play comes in, where I want to see what they can do with a prompt. I might say, imagine that you're calling in sick to work. What do you say? What do you tell your boss? So again, they're ending with this very open-ended activity where they're doing something that mirrors what they do in everyday life, but they're starting with a very highly structured model. It's a process of scaffolding and gradually pulling away those supports.
Here's what I want to do to finish. Does everybody have a red and a green card? Tazim, do you have a red and a green card?
There's a portion of the lesson at the very end that is devoted to evaluation. But really, I think of the evaluation as being an ongoing task. And throughout the lesson, when the learners are practicing, I'm doing what's called monitoring. And really, all that is just walking around and seeing how people are doing and providing assistance if needed. I also like to have learners self-assess. And even at the low beginner level, this is entirely possible. I did this with red and green index cards, very simple tools. I went back through the objectives. Can you call and ask for somebody? Yes, you hold up the green card. I need a little more practice. You hold up the red card.
You want more practice? More practice? More practice? Okay.
Yes.
That's good. We can do more practice. Now, for your homework,
An extension task builds on the lesson and takes learning beyond the classroom.
telephone. So you are going to practice two things with the telephone. You are going to call, the first one, you are going to call the National Weather Service. It's free, don't worry, okay?
Okay.
And when you call, the man or the woman says, the current downtown temperature is blah, 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 blah. Okay, you are going to write down the temperature, the number you hear. You okay? Okay, so everybody have a good weekend. Practice, practice, practice. See you all on Monday. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Betsy offers her final thoughts on the process that goes into planning a lesson.
Tonight's lesson was a life skill based lesson on using the telephone. And the objectives were to be able to use the phone and call someone and ask for them, use the phone to leave a telephone message, and to use the phone for some other specific purposes. We practiced both the language structures and vocabulary that the learners needed to do these skills, as well as the protocols for these functions. What you do when you call somebody and the person isn't there, what you say when you want to leave a message. So really the language and the life skills were intertwined. The objectives are a blueprint that guide the lesson. You want to really have some goals that I like to make overt to the learners. I believe very strongly that even at the low beginner level, it's important to have these specific objectives for each class and to make these known to the learners so they have a purpose for learning. They know what they're doing. I like for all of the activities that we're doing to be mapped to those objectives. So there's a purpose for each activity that we practice in class, and ideally each activity helps them to acquire the skill set and the language that they need to meet those objectives. The process of planning what I teach on any given night is really the combination of several factors. I believe firmly that everything should start with an assessment of the learner's needs. What do they need to do every day in English? What do they need to do on the job? What do they need to do in the community? So part of my lesson comes from that learner's needs assessment. The other part is that our program uses state adult ESOL content standards. So we have specific objectives that we want learners at each level in our program to meet as they exit each level. And so really it's a combination of those two things. And we do use a textbook in the class, and I look at the textbook as a tool to meet those overarching objectives that we cull from the content standards and from the assessment of the learner's needs.